If you've been avoiding AI because you don't know how to ask it the right question, I want you to hear this. You don't have to get the question right. AI will ask you what it needs. I know that sounds too simple, but stay with me. Because there's a mistake I see women make constantly when they first try this, and it's keeping them stuck before they even get started. So today I'm going to show you what that mistake is, why it's not your fault, and exactly what to do instead. Here's what I see happen over and over. Someone finally decides to try AI. They open ChatGPT, they stare at that blank box, and they think, okay, I need to get this right. I need to write the perfect question. So they type something, delete it. Type it again, add more detail, delete that. Try a totally different angle. Spend 20 minutes crafting one question. And then one of two things happens. Either they finally hit enter and get something generic that doesn't help at all, and they think, see, I knew I was doing it wrong, or they close the tab without ever sending anything, because the pressure to get it right felt like too much. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. That's not a prompting problem. That's a mindset problem, and it comes from a completely understandable place. We are used to search engines. You type in a question, you get an answer. If your question is vague, you get a vague result. So our brains wire themselves to believe that the quality of the input determines everything. But AI is not a search engine. It is something completely different. And once you understand that difference, the whole thing gets a lot easier. Let me walk you through the mistakes I see most often, because I made all of these myself. Mistake 1, trying to make it perfect before you hit enter. You already know this one, the 20-minute edit spiral. Here's the truth. A vague question to AI is not a dead end. It's the beginning of a conversation. You don't need to get it right. You just need to get it started. Mistake 2, starting fresh every single time. This one is sneaky. A lot of people open a brand new chat for every single thing they need, which means AI never gets to know your business. It's starting from zero every time. Think about what that would feel like with a real assistant. Every conversation, you'd be re-explaining who you are, what you do, who you serve, what your goals are. That's exhausting, and it produces generic output. The fix. Start one conversation about your business and keep going back to it. Let AI build context over time. The more it knows about you, the better it gets. Mistake 3, giving up after one answer. You ask a question. The answer isn't quite right, so you close the window and decide AI doesn't work for you. But that's like asking a new colleague a question, not loving the first answer, and never speaking to them again. The response you get is a starting point, not a final answer. React to it. Tell it what's not quite right. Ask it to go deeper on one part. That back and forth is where the good stuff lives. Mistake 4, asking AI to just do things without giving it any context. Write me an email. Okay, to who? About what? What's the tone? What do you want the person to do after reading it? AI can only work with what you give it. The more context you bring, the more useful the output. You don't need to write a perfect prompt, but you do need to bring your brain to the conversation. Mistake 5, treating every answer like it's final. AI is not always right. It doesn't always know your specific industry, your specific clients, or your specific situation. Your job is not to just copy what it gives you. Your job is to react to it, refine it, and make it yours. You're still the expert. AI is just a very fast, very well-read thinking partner. When I first decided to try AI for my business, I did exactly what I just described. I spent way too long trying to phrase the perfect question. I finally just typed, "Can you help me build a roadmap for my consulting business?" That's it. No fancy prompting, no special formatting, just a very normal, slightly vague sentence. And here's what happened. AI didn't give me a generic answer. It asked me questions. What kind of consulting? Who do I want to serve? What problems have I seen over and over in my career? What do I want my business to look like in a year? It onboarded itself. By asking me exactly the right questions, it pulled out information I hadn't even thought to share. And by the end of that one conversation, I had a roadmap with gap areas to focus on, a content plan, a marketing direction, and ideas for the kinds of training my audience would actually want. That conversation is part of why you're watching this video right now, and I typed one slightly vague sentence to start it. Here's the way I think about it now, and this reframe changed everything for me. Think about the best new hire you've ever had. Someone smart, capable, and genuinely motivated to do great work. On their first day, you wouldn't hand them a massive project with no background and say, figure it out. You'd walk them through the business, give them context, answer their questions. AI is like that new hire, except instead of weeks of onboarding, it takes a few minutes. And instead of you having to explain everything up front, it asks you the questions it needs. Your only job is to answer honestly. The more context you give, the better it performs. Just like a great new hire who actually listened. So here's what I want you to do today. Not tomorrow, today. Open ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you have. Type one thing you're actually working on right now. It doesn't have to be perfectly worded. It doesn't have to be detailed. Just describe the situation honestly, and then watch what it asks you back. Answer those questions. Keep the conversation going for a few minutes. See where you end up. That's it. That's the whole on-ramp. You don't need a course. You don't need the perfect prompt. You just need to start the conversation. If this felt like a relief to hear, I want you to come hang out with us. I have a free community called Sensible Practice. It's for women business owners who want to use practical tools, including AI, without the tech overwhelm. No jargon, no pressure, just real tools and women who actually get it. And if you still need a little help starting that first conversation, I've put together a starter prompt sheet of the exact ways I use to kick off conversations with AI about my business. Already written, already organized. So you're not staring at that blank box alone. It's free. The link is in the description. I'd love to see you in there.